Welcome back. If you guys were a part of the live that was cut, and if you're joining me for the first time, you are literally joining me in a continuation of a video I was just doing. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. You can watch the replay of my last live if you're new here and you like it here, but you're kind of confused about what we were just talking about after I just jump you into this one. Make yourself at home because I'm about to just get into it. You know, the feds be watching, the feds be lurking. Hey, y'all, welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you guys for coming back and not leaving me like all the mother suckers did. Anime. I'm just kidding. Y'all know they don't like for us to have too much fun. And we were having fun. No, you guys weren't having fun? I was. I'm gonna let a couple more of you guys get in here. I'm gonna try to make myself comfy without flashing anybody. Yes, here. Okay, I see more people coming in now. Welcome back, everybody who's joining me, coming back from that first live. Hey, Rhonda. If you guys are unfamiliar with how things work around here, yes, I get interrupted quite often in lives when I'm juiced up, when the juices are flowing, when we're having fun. I'm playing with my friends, doing hood rat with my friends. I always get told to come in the house. I always get in trouble. Let me put something over my lap so I can just ride this thing on out. They don't know, JD. We multiply. I follow what God told me to do. And when I'm feeling fruitful, I just multiply. I just come right on back. I just come right on back. You don't need to plan my parenthood. If my busted babies is in here, I'm gonna come back until I'm done. It was getting juicy. So now we're just gonna get the juices all the way flowing. We're just gonna make juice. Let's just read Bill Gates as he stands now. But first, let me ask, Spirit, why does Bill Gates want to unleash his new contraceptive in Africa? Let me just ask that first and then I'll roll them out. Why does Bill Gates want to unleash his new contraceptive in the motherland? To all of my members, we will be doing a members live immediately after I finish talking about this man, child, this species. I'm a human. I don't know what species he is, but all right. Spirit, why does Bill Gates want to unleash his new contraceptive in Africa of all places? Not bring the helping hands to his own people, to the ghettos and the hoods of Germany and Yugoslavia and wherever the fuck them people be from. Because he is a Frankenstein and is it Dr. Jekyll? Dr. Jekyll, the mad magician. The magician, but in reverse, the mad magician. The black magician, the dark magician, the mad scientist. In my mind, I hate black people, all of them, but especially the old ones. By old, I feel like he's talking about in his terms of species, as he says. But as a people, the old people. They are hard to pry away from their God. It's 2026 and they are still upholding a lot of their ancient traditions. And what's worse, the ones in the diaspora have done the same thing. Not all of them, but a good number of them. Harder to create or turn into or program into the new age humans. What Africans you know gonna eat lab butter? That's exactly what you're gonna get. From the Africans, Jamaicans, all the Caribbeans, you're gonna get. From the blacks, you're gonna get a hell no. Hell no, I ain't eating that shit. Mm-mm. 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 In Africa, they still value traditional family units and families. Rolls eyes, neck, back, does the owl, a whole 360. We just owls over here. The Africans is owls. That's how hard they gonna roll their necks at that shit. Clean in a 360. So that when they turn back around and look at you in your face again, you better not be in their face with that bullshit. I know. That's why I said in the motherland, they have to force certain things on you because you have upheld old traditions too much. They got to force you into contraceptives because you ain't on the abortion craze like they are over here in the US. The abortion and birth control craze, the way they pop them like Skittles over here, y'all ain't on that shit. Y'all haven't caught on to the new world, so they force it on you in the under deserving areas that they say in the medicines and stuff. I know ain't no owls in Africa. I know y'all don't like that shit. Y'all think it's witches. Cause they all outside my house. Literally, all the owls. It's several of them. And sometimes they be getting owl fights in the middle of the night and you just hear that is literally what they sound like. Imagine hearing that at 3 o'clock in the morning. Not 3 o'clock, because I don't be hearing them that late. But like 11, 10, 11, 12, when it's time to go to bed. I love owls. They're my pets. I be like, if y'all don't cut that shit out, what the fuck do they be fighting about every night? But they be fighting. I hear cats too. And it used to be a certain cat that I hate because they sound too human. The tomcats. I don't be with that shit. It's not a regular meow. But yes, the the problem is that you in Africa specifically, you guys are still very traditional. Y'all ain't with all this new age shit that's going on in the world. Y'all haven't picked up on it, so they like to force it on you. And they do it now. That's just one of the reasons, but this man, I believe this man hates black people. He hates them. And unfortunately, it's easier to be the evil person that the magician in reverse is in the poverty areas. So it's easier to rage out. Most of this is his work, but I think he loves, I think this is a psychopath. And I think the underprivileged areas is where he can do all of his nastiness, all of the stuff that he really, really wants to do, but it's not as ethical. Actually, while receiving praise, Business Insider Africa states, concerns were raised about the ethical implications of externally funded family planning initiatives in Africa. That means some people are saying, why the fuck are you doing this here? This is why. Sure, this is his great work, but it's easy to do it in these areas on the people that he hates the most. So all types of things are done in underserved areas, all types of things. The medications, all the stuff, all his experiments, he can do them there to his heart's desire. They're still too traditional. This is the story that I was just reading you guys in Genesis. And God created the man and woman and told them to be fruitful and multiply and have dominion. And they're naked to show us exactly what our mission was, to be fruitful and multiply. Use these bodies, rub them up against each other. And then when they start feeling away and this thing starts lifting, go inside and know her. Go inside and know her in the most biblical way. Know her. Know her every day if you can. Know her until y'all populate. Nowhere in there did they say, and once you get to 8 billion, stop knowing each other. Stop knowing, stop populating. Nobody ever said that. The control happens naturally because we fucking die. So it has to be someone with a God complex to feel like they need to control a population when people naturally die. Has anybody ever thought about why they need to control population when we die every day? This is a war on God and creation. And that's what's at the heart of it. You guys, if you're not spiritual, and I'm not asking you to be religious. I'm not religious. If you're not tapped in to any sort of knowledge or wisdom, if you don't get your wisdom from somewhere, then you're looking at this all wrong. You're looking at the symptoms and not the root. The root is a God complex. And the root is a war on the creator and its creation. Which leads me to think, Bill Gates, what you must not be of the same seed, of the same Genesis 26 creation that I am. Because you speak of a species, our species, as if you own humankind, but you don't own me. So you must be talking about your species. Let me see. I'm going to put this back in because I might need to see this depending on my when I ask this question. Spirit, of the same creation that you said was good between the male and the female. The male and the female who were to be fruitful and multiply after their kind. Spirit, is Bill Gates of that kind? Is Bill Gates of the male and female and the human being species that you said was good when you created it? The human, the male, and the female that you intended to populate the earth. They're the only ones that you intended to create humans. Is Bill Gates of that lineage? Is he of that species? Ooh, the trolls just came in heavy. No, he has a God complex for a reason. This is the wanderer. Now, members, remember, or even some of my viewers who were in some earlier lives when I talk about Cain and Abel and their father and their creation, the second creation story in Genesis, the wanderer seed, the vagabond seed, They're wanderers because God did not know them. Created from human women, but that serpent that approached the Eve, the woman in the garden, and seduced her into sex wasn't a snake. It was one of the, you know, call it a fallen angel because that's what the story has it. One of them who intended, in the midst of a war with God and a war in heaven and being kicked out, who said, all right, say less. I'm going to go and create my own species with your women. So, not male and female and condemned deity, a failed angel who failed at their one job, took it out and came and took it out on the entire human race by literally taking it out on the mother of the human race. So there you have the enmity between Cain and Abel. Because Cain's looking at Abel like, why does God keep continuing to accept your sacrifices? That's the story they gave. But really, why does God accept you and not me? Why do you look that way? Why are you browner than me? And my skin out of my mother's womb was light, and my eyes were blue, and my hair gold. And here you are with sheep's hair, skin the color of the earth. And every time you make a sacrifice, it's accepted. Every time I do it, it ain't. You know what? I'm going to drop a dime on Abel. Yep. I'm going to drop a brick on Abel. Yep. That's why it was so easy for God to just be like, you and your people will be a wanderer, a vagabond. It's because I don't know you. I don't know. They hate us because they ain't us. See, Keisha, you're somebody that has watched one of my favorite movies, The Interview. And if you haven't, that's the first thing that comes to my mind when I see that phrase, they hate us because they ain't us, from The Interview. One of my favorite movies because it's so funny. And I'm not a comedy movie girl, but that gets me going. It gets me going. Oh God, just Google. They hate us because they ain't us. Just Google it. Even if you don't want to watch the whole movie, just watch that scene because that's what pops up in my mind when you just said that. Anyways, he's of the wanderer seed. He's of that bloodline, which is why he's an elite, a billionaire. Many of them are. Many of these elites who have positions of stationary positions of power, meaning didn't just rise to power. They've been powerful and rich for all of their life, all of our lives, and they run some important thing in humanity. Most of them run important things in humanity because that's a war strategy. That's a takeover strategy. I should have gotten the Lover's card. That's why I put it back in the deck. The Lover's card or the Empress. No, I got the Wanderer. The Wanderer bloodline. Now we're talking. Clarify this Hermit reverse, the Wanderer, the Exile, because that's what the Hermit reverse is. Exile, isolation. They ain't like us. Not of any of the races that came into being during creation. Man, woman, and the beings that came out of the seas in order to help guide us. Highly evolved beings. Acceptable. They didn't hump us. They were messengers and helpers. They came, did what God said to do to help us know how to multiply and dominate and do the job that we were given. And then they went back to wherever they, up, water, up, down, wherever they went. Them, though, They're not of any of us. In fact, they were one of them, but then they wanted to get in the mix and mix their fluids with ours. That is who the bloodline of Bill Gates is. They not like us. He not like us. He just not. Not from any of the lineages recorded in the histories of mankind. Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Lineage, generations, generational wealth, ancestry. In reverse, God said, I checked. Enoch! Hey, Enoch! Check that book I told you to write where all the humans I ever created names was in there. No Gates. No Bill Gates. Check again. Bill and Melinda. Check and see if it's under Melinda and Bill. No Melinda or Bill Gates. Yep, nope. We checked. They ain't in there. Not in any of the lineages that I said I wanted to be created. They went and created their own thing. They're a new creation, a new being. Not out of the waters. Not out of the waters like everybody else. Not everything that has life came out of a water, out of an amniotic fluid. I mean, they got to come out of that water because they got birth, but no. Their ancestors weren't from this portal, the water portals. They were from the cave portals. These were angels that were kicked out of the heavens. That's why they have this knapsack, because even their angels, these angels were vagabonds. That's why God called Cain and their descendants vagabonds and wanderers, because that's what their fathers were. Kicked down from heavens and not even allowed to come back. So Earth, they had to get used to, for the first time, because it's the first card in the deck, which is why it's 0. For the first time, they had to get used to living like the humans and never being able to go through the portal of the water to get back to the other realms. So they had to make their Earth their home. That's why they have this knapsack. Everything they know from their angelic heavenly abode, they're going to use it to create an empire on this earth for themselves, along with their new doggy babies. Because they done created a new type of species that look just like humans because they're half human. But you don't know till you check their bloodline. Not doggy demon babies. Allegedly, that's the story of Bill Gates' ancestors. All right. Now let's take a deep dive into Bill Gates, and then I'm going to slide on over to my members chat. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, the soul, the collective energy, or whatever the fuck it is, of Bill Gates. The collective energy. He doesn't have one of the former. A soul. He has a spirit. That's the breath in his body. A soul, no. Could have. Chose wrong. Wrong road. Wrong road. Wrong road. Bill Gates. I can hear him sneering at me. I hate witches, he says. I hate witches. To be hated by Bill Gates is an honor. Why do you hate witches? He says, because I can't do anything with them. Because they can do shit like this. I compel you, Bill Gates, to speak your soul's truth and keep absolutely nothing. Is what I hear hissing. Yeah, sneering and hissing. We're like owls, he said. We're like the owls. It's probably why they always at my window. Up at night, seeing things in the dark that other people can't see. The owls can see things from any vantage point in the light and in the dark. But we prefer the dark. Prefer to see in the dark because that's where the truth is, in the dark. And the light is the facade, the image, but in the dark, that's the truth. And people like me, we can see it. We can see what people try to hide. So yes, that's why we like the dark. It ain't because we evil. It's because we can see better. See the truths that people try to hide in the light. Best place to hide something is in plain sight. But owls see in the dark and they can turn their heads all the way around. So we just all up in it. And that's how you, Bill Gates, should know that your complex is just a complex. You're not God. Otherwise, you would be able to snap my vision right out of my mind. Not my brain, but my mind. Why can't you do that? Oh, he says wisdom. Wisdom. She's no fool. All you gotta do is be no fool, and these people can't win, and they'll be mad. All you gotta do is don't be no fool. Spirit, Bill Gates, talk to me from your spirit's truth. I compel you to keep absolutely nothing hidden from me. Even in your subconscious, which your conscious mind thinks you don't know. You know. You know more than you think you know. In your DNA, history. A sad, sad, sad story of a reject. Bill Gates, what are you doing today? It's 2025, going into 2026 soon. I know that you have big, lofty plans at all times. You're in Kenya right now trying to break away the African people in the villages because they're underserved, but they're actually still the most tribal. Underserved just means the least colonized, the least industrialized. So they still are very, very, very close to the beginning of our origins. They still hold and pass down stories of the beginning of our time as oral traditions. Some of them born today don't even know why they uphold some of the traditions they do, but they're old as fuck. And people tell them that they've been passed down from the great ancestors, and that's why we do them, and that's why we're going to keep doing them. They don't have access to the new world like we do. So they are still keeping the flame alive, a lot brighter than a lot of us in the diaspora because we've been new aged a little bit. Not as pure. But we coming back. All right, Bill Gates. Talk to me about what you have going on with your super plans. What's going on with you? I won't even just say in Kenya and with the butter. What's going on with you and your plans for this world? And Spirit, please allow me to see your plans for Bill Gates as his outcome. Currently, Bill Gates is doing his job. He's working in tandem with the other power players that are working. You have the new dictator Trump. You have a first in history American Pope. You've got Bill Gates, the God of humanities. All kinds of New World, apocalyptic, ancient prophecies and predictions are taking place right now in tandem with each other. If not those three entities directly, and I know Donald Trump and Bill Gates are at least two, but I do believe that new pope is the third one, and he's been quiet, but he'll come out to play a little bit later. They all have a specific role and purpose, and in this time. So all of them are acting in accordance to how they should be in the time of history that we are in now. Not saying they should because it's a good thing. I'm speaking from a prophetic perspective. They're right on time and they're doing exactly what's been foretold that they would do. Which means there's also something that you should be doing. Uh, the challenge will be implementing this new contraceptive in Africa because the Africans are too original. They're too close to the Garden of Eden, to the old world, to God, and our commandments given when we were placed on this earth. They still uphold them. I'll say it all the time, JD, because from my perspective, they're right on time. Here, meaning a divine hand, it wasn't asked for. That would have been the Two of Pentacles or the Three of Pentacles. It wasn't asked for. It was offered. Because these people still hold too much original DNA in them. And the more they populate, the more the earth fills with people with ancient coded DNA. Pure DNA. And those people, they like the way they are. They like their traditions. They like their culture. They like their beliefs. They like their simplicity, which is why he has to push it on them. As I mentioned in the past, the African people, the original man, mankind, that's why it's only one here, and then everything else was populated for him to subdue. Him with his dark, coily, kinky hair, his brown skin, and the rest of the earth behind him in order for him to what? Dominate and subdue. In Bill Gates' reading, though, that's in the past. So he already is working as if the human, the original human, is obsolete. This also tells me of a beef with the original human and the blessing that God gave them to dominate and subdue. Think about why Abel was probably really mad. If the command and the blessing to dominate and subdue everything and everybody else was given to the original humans, but Cain is the product of a hybrid. He's a hybrid. That's where the enmity and the jealousy came from. His brother inherits the earth. He doesn't. They say the meek shall inherit the earth because after these Nephilim or fallen angels came and did their due diligence with creating their own seed and their own kind, and they populated and populated, and their kind populated, and their kind populated, and their kind populated. Because of their higher knowledge that they know, they were able to amass power in the world. Power, riches, and wealth. But the meek shall inherit the earth. Not talking about somebody that's a born again Christian. They're talking about the original humans. Check DNA. And I'm going to do a bloodline series after I finish my Reclaiming the Prophecy series for Revelation in my members. The next one is talking about the bloodlines. But they succeeded in amassing power and wealth for themselves. An angel would know how to do that. And they would do that for their children and their children's friends and their allies. But us meek humans who don't even know that we're under attack just for our blood, our DNA, because we come from the male and the female who created Abel and then the rest of them, not Cain. We're of the Abel bloodline. So that's why it's an eternal beef. And that's why people so many times ask, why is racism? It's because the mere difference in our appearance and our skin is a constant reminder and a clue to history if the story was told properly, the way I'm telling you, and not the way you've heard in the books and in the teachings of the churches. Nevertheless, they want the Abel lineage in the past, and according to Bill Gates, it has been, because through food, vaccines, medications, environmental poisons, and you name it, we all have been altered. The goal is to make us hybrids just like their hybrid. The more sinister plan, though, is to make us choose to be their new creation than the creation we already are. And that comes through conveniences. That's how we choose, through conveniences. It starts out small. Conveniences, and then choices that were forced into that really aren't choices. But when they control the circumstances, then it seems like we have choices, or we have limited choices. Manipulation, but still done in a way where you can see the truth and then choose. Choose what you want to be, true to your nature or true to theirs, and the one that they're trying to force and manipulate you into accepting. You know how many people, after the ICE situation, and all of the farm workers and stuff like that, you know how many reports I heard of them talking about machines picking up those jobs because American citizens don't want to do what the undocumented laborers were doing? Imagine them getting rid of all the people who willingly did that on the farmlands. Now there's nobody else to work the farmlands, so now they can snatch them up without anybody protesting or contesting, because ain't nobody out there in the first place. And the people who didn't mind doing it, who find value in that work, they're gone. And they know Americans are lazy, because Americans have been slowly but surely choosing to be the new creation. I ain't working on the field. I ain't going out there no field. I ain't working out there no field. We barely don't even want to go to the office anymore. We don't want to get out of the bed to work and be productive. So that's why I said, through conveniences, they sneak this new human identity, and they make it look so much shinier and newer and better and easier. If I have Chat GPT, I don't even have to think. I don't even have to use the organs that God gave me that make me a human, and actually would make me a better human if I exercised my muscles. In the near future, the Pope, he'll get active. He'll come out because he has a role to play. His turn is coming. You got Trump dictating. You've got Bill. Dr. Jekyll and Dr. Jekyll in hiding. You'll have the Pope coming out to do his bid. What that is, we'll see. Maybe some new reforms, new initiatives. Bill Gates has been working on not just the new contraceptive that he wants to push onto the African people. They are getting ready to roll out 3 more initiatives after. 3 more poisons that they are going to roll out after. Different from the contraceptive. The contraceptive, they want to start in Africa, but they want to take it worldwide. There are 3 other initiatives that the Gates have lined up that are in accordance with what they should be doing now. The 3 cups and the 3 swords, in accordance with what they are, the role that they are playing now. There will be 3 more vials from Bill Gates that he will pour out unto humanity. All in time. All of these initiatives are to make life more difficult for the everyday Joe. And I mean make every aspect of life more burdensome, more cumbersome, so that we can be offered alternatives that we accept as better, because they have made the other alternative seem like it's worse. They are applying pressure to the world in order to offer us a new one. Bill Gates is working in accordance with his father's ancestors, the ones who were called stars, fixated in the skies in order to oversee us at all time. And if any time we need guidance, then they manifest in a form that we can identify with. And then go back to their place in the firmament. Bill Gates and I believe some other billionaires are using technology in order to break in. They're doing their ancestors' work. We're not. Well, I am. Most of us are, but he's doing his ancestors' work. The original condemnation of his ancestors when they were kicked out of the ethereal realms permanently, meaning they can't come and go as they please anymore, and earth had to be their permanent abode. They never got over that. That was the ultimate punishment. I think they were more angry at having to stay down here permanently than anything else and live amongst us humans and see us come and go through reincarnation. And they're dying out. Their children are dying out. So their presence is almost, if their lineage, if their bloodline continues to die out, then they will stick out more as a sore thumb for what they are. As the earth gets hotter and the climate changes, so will their physical appearance. And There will be no way that any human being will be able to deny that they are something else. Let me show you what it will start to look like, because I actually have a picture of what I think it will look like. And I'm sorry if any of your meemaws and pawpaws look like this. Let me just get Google going. Current actions, though. Seems like they're trying to find a way to restore, and if not restore, then create a new realm, a new heaven for their ancestors who got kicked out and forced to live in the one God created, where they're subject to natural law and still a little bit under our dominion. Despite them being in power, their power only goes as far as we allow it, which means they're under our dominion, still subdued. If they need us, if they need to control us to survive, well then, bitch, we still got the juice. All right, this is what it will look like as the climate continues to change. Hold on. I'm going to give you two examples. You see that? Look at the skin. Look at the size of the head. We were talking about Mars attacks and cone heads the other day. You see that? I'm just saying. Hold on, I ain't done. I'm going to show you a female version. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a female version. My Google is being a little slow right now. But what I was saying is, this is how you will be able to tell what somebody who is not of the Abel bloodline looks like. As the world continues to heat up, it's getting hot outside, ain't it? Certain people are more prone to skin cancers just for being under the sun than others. It's one more picture I want to show y'all, because I came across it the other day and I said, my God, if I needed a picture in the dictionary on what that bloodline, that Abel bloodline looked like, shit. Oh, Google is moving at a snail's pace. Because it's just this one picture that I need to show y'all. Anyways, while it's loading, I'll finish the reading. All right. External energy. Success. He's having success at what he's doing, despite challenges. He seems like he just recently overcome something. Or no, I don't think this is him at all. No, this isn't him at all. That's somebody else. That's an op of Bill Gates. Hopes and fears. Women. The hope is to attack women in our ability to reproduce. Attack it in multiple ways. Make you not want to. Offer contraceptives. I see medical, medical forced like forcing it on us in medicine. Be careful at the hospitals. Be careful with medications you take. There is going to be a further war on our wombs and our ability to reproduce. And I'm going to include even the desire to do so. That is a part of the attack, making it no longer attractive to do so. All right, this is a female version of what that bloodline might look like and how you might not be able to just overlook what the fuck you're looking at, because this is the mother-in-law of the man that I just showed you. These people is dipped in the finest diamonds and gold, looking like Thriller, Thriller night. Your Royal fucking Highness. I beg your pardon. I beg your royalist pardon. The hills have eyes, and so do the pardon. If I got to beg for another pardon, then I'm just gonna say fuck it and sentence you to whatever it is that you need to be sentenced to, because I'm not gonna keep begging for pardons. Come on now, draped in real pearls. Come on, get into it. Get into this royal mug. Haven't we all wanted to be a queen like this? I'm just saying, it would look like that bloodline would look like it's holding up in evolution poorly. Period. That's not me being prejudiced or racist. I'm saying what this Nephilim bloodline will look like is, as history, as the world continues to turn, as the world gets older, and as original mankind gets older, a certain subgroup of mankind will not evolve or age gracefully. They will look like collectively they're dying out. Hopes and fears, the devil. That is to unleash the kingdom of these angry fallen angels onto the earth. They can't do nothing with the divine, and they know that. As much as they try, and they only keep up the charade of a space station so that they can keep shooting satellites up there and implementing ways to further monitor and control us. But they know they can't do nothing with the divine because they can't get into, come on, because they can't go too far down into the ocean enough to get to space. They know that. We know that. That's the one thing that's the one failure of theirs that they can never lie about. We can't get down there that far. We can't get down there. Now that should tell you something. Is that the most powerful people on the earth can't go has to be where heaven is. Because why would God make it so easy for man to come and create a space station 10 miles around the corner from heavenly gates? From the pearls and the streets of gold? You mean it's a NASA station? 2 lights up, 2 asteroids up and to the left of the pearly gates? No. But collectively, they will tell you, we don't know what's down there in the water. We just still learning about an ecosystem down there because we can't get down there. Child. But if they can conquer your wombs, they won't need to get down there. If they can shut up the portal of life itself, from which every creation comes from. Every humankind got to come from a womb and a vagina. If they can do that, they don't need to go down to the depths of the waters. Because wouldn't nothing be coming from up there? Wouldn't no more life be? Child. Hopes and fears, that is to create a kingdom for themselves on earth that is fully ran by them, which it already but that you guys fully integrate into with the least amount of rebellion. And for many, for many it will work. Narrow is the path. It will work. That's the outcome. The problem is for them, because that's the good news for Bill Gates. This is his reading. That's the good news for Bill Gates. The bad news, though, is that you guys will still only be stuck here with your select few. You guys aren't going to find any solution to your problem for your fallen angel ancestors. Hey, Q. You guys aren't going to find that path that leads to a way out of here that doesn't require first. You will continue to die and come back here until it's hot enough and the climate gets so out of control that you guys continue to just evolution out. Nature will restore itself. That's the justice card upright. Nature will restore itself, even if it has to do so by fire this time, like it said. And no, people like me wasn't wiped out in the flood. People like y'all kind of was. But some of y'all are crafty. And then your forefathers came back and then repopulated with more bitches that was thirsty for some alien dick. Nephilim dick. Just thirsty. Them was the real hoes. Them was the real hoes. Because the men that God gave them to procreate with, that wasn't good enough. They had to go see what that angel dick was like. Just throbbing and stuff and don't know what to do with themselves. Just throbbing and has no self-control. And shit, you still can see those women to this day too. They might be black and white, but they still behave the same way. It's sexy. Child, pockets just as beyond hot. They need some of that licitrin that's in the butter. They need some of that licitrin for them hot pockets. Some of that licitrin. The outcome is that they'll convert many. They'll convert y'all. Some of you watching this might be converted. Not the busted babies, but some of y'all who just stumbled in here that ain't used to what we do around here. Some of y'all, shit, all the trolls, they belong to the beast. They belong to Bill and the beast. All the trolls, Bill and the beast. So let's clarify. Who? Girl, everybody. Everybody. Not us, but everybody. Not the lamb. Six of Cups. They will empower women to be just as sexually liberated, free from any control over their bodies. Meanwhile, this is in Bill Gates' hopes and fears. Controlling you is in his hopes. Meanwhile, you guys are fighting to get rid of a control that they're hoping So who told y'all bodies what y'all choices? Who told y'all that? Don't you bathe? That's a choice. Putting on clothes, that's a choice. Putting on lotion, that's a choice. Getting a BBL, getting any kind of body modifications, that's a choice. And nobody stopped you. In fact, it's pretty popular to do that. So who's telling you that you don't have choices for your body? The media? All of a sudden, that's a new age. That just came out of nowhere. Sometime around Roe v. Wade, they started telling y'all that somebody was trying to take y'all rights away to kill and not reproduce. And at the same time, they was telling y'all, in fact, we need to be out here working just as hard as the men. Because it's not fair that we don't. It's not fair that we have this biological process that causes us to reproduce. And it's not fair that the leaders of this world made it so that men make more, because the war has always been on the women first. Make us not want to do our biological duties and make men not want to do those duties with us. Hell, make them want to do it with each other and then go buy a baby. In fact, now let's just make babies in the same labs that we make butter. No shade to any IVF children or anything like that, but same lab we making butter, we make babies too. And you can purchase them all these days. They will continue to, oh, I'm losing people, dropping like flies. They'll continue to incentivize the woman to be more liberal. The problem, though, is that there's also another group of women. They need the more liberal women to combat the human women, because real human women, and I say real human women because we are choosing to not be a part of the new species that Bill Gates speaks of, that he owns. Since we are choosing our God body and our God nature, we are inherently evolving, becoming more spiritual, becoming more powerful. That is how the meek inherit the earth. As they build up their army and take real humans with them by dumbing them down and making them choose every day to give away a little bit more of their human autonomy. So the real, the ones that say, nah, we believe in the old spirits, the ancient spirits. We believe in the laws of nature. We believe in our ancestors that first taught us how to be humans. And we believe in the instructions that they gave because they've lasted this long, while the people who want us to believe otherwise are starting to look like decomposition. So who should I listen to? My ancestors who still look 12 at the age of 102? Or the people that have more to fear in global warming, in climate change than I do? Dying out and skin drying out, shriveling up like raisins. At 45, but the man will combat. The man will combat with the liberal woman. They will combat the natural woman, because we're the ones on the front line. The war is on the women, and there's a lot of us women that's saying absolutely not. So with the help of women, they will combat the high priestess, the divine, with the help of the liberal woman. That is how they will be successful. If the men aren't in our homes, then we're raising each other. So yes, a lot of damage is done due to absentee fathers. But think about that. We like to blame absentee fathers for a lot, but that's our way of saying we need y'all to check us and to help us because we aren't. If we didn't make them on our own, then we shouldn't raise them on our own. A woman needs a man to fertilize her egg because the woman is the water in the darkness. It's chaos without structure. And that's what women create. Without structure, chaos. In our homes, we absolutely do. And yes, we always cry out about men being absent, about the the community that absentee fathers produce, but that's even more of a sign that the woman should not be left alone, not just because she's weaker, but because if she's not in a healthy state to where it's not chaos inside of her, then that's what she's going to spit out of her, whether she knows it or not. I had a conversation the other day with my mother, and I tell her things and I don't tell her things because she can't handle the truth. Mothers can't hear the truth about their parenting. And a lot of y'all are mothers. Can a lot of y'all sit down if y'all children are brutally honest with y'all and told y'all the good, the bad, and the ugly? You get offended, you get upset, and then you become a victim because we should be grateful. But me and my sisters vow we'll never have certain conversations with our mother because she can't handle our truth. So we'll just have to deal with whatever issues that she gave us without having to talk it out with her and have her accept accountability. She can dish it, but she can't take it. Now, I ended up slipping and giving her a little bit, and the only thing she could do is say was, wow, well, such and such and such. So she couldn't believe it, but I'm like, how can you not be aware that your actions are influencing? And as a mother, you are the first influencer. You're the definition of an influencer. And as a single mother, you are the only influencer. One parent is absent, so they're creating a void. But in between those voids, you fill them in, knowingly and unknowingly, by example as well. Some of the vividest images of my mother are the times that I walked in on her having sex. Because my father went to prison and they didn't divorce until 5 years after prison. And she knew he was going to do 20 years. She still tried to see how long she could thug it out. At year 5, they both decided, my father was like, you don't have to do this. Go on with your life. I'm doing 20 years. And she said, say less. But I remember every boyfriend she had after that. And for some reason, I stayed walking in on my mother when she was getting her pipes checked. But I remember those moments very vividly. And I remember the men. I remember their clothes on the floor. I remember the position that they was in. I and who's to say that that didn't contribute to something within me? Because I remember it so vividly, which means it's in my subconscious, not just my conscious mind, but my subconscious. My sisters, even me, until I went to therapy and realized how that works against you. A lot of the things that we witnessed just by growing up with our mother, that we felt like when we get grown, we're not going to do that. You can subconsciously go to the extreme and still end up in a bad place trying to do everything opposite of what you saw your mama do, that you felt like as soon as I'm grown, I'm going to do completely opposite. But that completely opposite might take you into another extreme. I realized that pattern, and then I applied grace to my mother so that I didn't continue going into extremes trying to avoid being repeating her mistakes. And so that's a way That even so, yes, coupling up with a woman to combat natural evolution in women is genius. And the man will empower the liberal women, like I just said. And it's because of women that so many will be able to become new creatures in the new world. We'll continue to birth AI babies, starting with Gen Z. A lot of you guys have the older generations to thank for you being a little bit more conscious. But as an doing HR consultation, helping people on career paths, because that's something that I do too. I talked to a few Gen Zers. Some of them are in my family, trying to help them figure their shit out because they graduated and thought, I need to take a break off from school. But all they know is the social construct that is today's world. And so one of my cousin's daughters, she's going to be 21, and her problem is, I won't even call her lazy. The problem is that she wasn't born with a work ethic. We had to use parts of our brain growing up that they don't have to use anymore. Doing things like writing in cursive was not just writing in cursive and reading in cursive, it was training our mind to read, and like almost training our mind to speak and read in a different language. So we were exercising different chambers in our brain that aren't being exercised in the average school curriculum anymore, even just to start. Let's talk about physical health and physical activity. Let's talk about diet. Let's talk about social skills. They were born into a world where all their friends are online, including the friends that they can make. All their potential is one click away. Food, one click away. Transportation, one click away. Entertainment, one click away. Education, one click away. Church, one click away. Social interaction, one click away. Shopping, one click away. Doctor's visits, one click away. Everything, just one click away. So it is on women, because we choose who we create families with. If they say, let me go in raw, and we say yes, then we chose. If they say, let me go in raw, and I say, get a condom, and they say no, and I say, well, then no bueno, then I chose. My body, my choice. If he says, let me go in raw, and I say yes, and I'm not on birth control, and then a baby is created, that was my body and my choice too. My legs was to the moon by choice. I was bent over by choice, with no contraceptive in sight by choice. When do y'all start thinking that it wasn't y'all choice? So yes, our families, our husbands, the circumstances, our choice. And yes, women, to whom much is given, much is required. Yes, we are the more powerful, as we can close up our legs and control the population better than Bill Gates. We can do it. That's why he's going to rally behind us and support us in a liberal movement. Because if we choose to shut this shit down, everybody just dies and nobody's born. And then there's your population control. Not his vaccines, not his poisons. Women, girls. And if we say the world populates, then there's always a horny man that's willing to come inside and know us biblically. That's why God made us curvy, pretty, dainty, and smelling good, because the men need to want to come inside us and know us biblically. And the act needs to be fun and it needs to feel good so that we can be fruitful and multiply. Because that's our fucking job since we were created. So, no, we'll continue to choose unwisely, or I won't say we. I like to say that to be relatable, but I ain't like y'all. Not like you, but just I'm sorry. I just was born this way. But poor decisions will continue to be made. The earth will continue to be populated into a system by women in the system. But let's look at the lamb, the OG humans. And not say that we have been altered. We've taken medications and vaccines and eaten shit. But when you know better, you do better. When you know better, you start inheriting a healthy level of paranoia. Mm-hmm. Yeah, healthy paranoia. That means, I don't want to eat this. Actually, I'm going to go down to the farmer's market because there's a farmer there. And I'm going to buy all of my produce and my food from the farmer's market. I do. There are several farms competing for my business at the market. Every Saturday, I got to switch them up sometime because they be in your face. Hey, 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 I got this meat package for sale. Fresh from farm. Fresh from farm. I got this meat bundle for sale. Meat just be so good. Tastes different. Vegetables. They look like vegetables. And they actually wither and die within a certain amount of time if you don't store them properly like they supposed to. Historically, don't nobody in my family eat no seedless nothing. Cause we good country folk. We still close to the earth like the Africans in Kenya that Bill Gates wants his hands on. We don't eat shit without seeds. Absolutely not, especially no watermelon. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Even if it tastes sweeter, because soon as we bite into it and we don't taste no seed, all we taste is delicious, we spit it out. Nope. First of all, that's way too delicious to be natural. Second of all, ain't no seeds in there. It's too sweet. It tastes like sugar. It don't taste like ripe fruit. It tastes like sugar. Them candy grapes, they're delicious. Yes, but I'm not eating that shit. It's too sweet. The shit be too firm and plump, too ripe. It don't taste like the grapes it's almost hard. It's almost like candy. They be so plump and full of steroids. You bite into them and they crunch. I don't want no crunchy ass grapes with no seeds in them. They crunch. They be so big. Whoosh. No. And why do they taste like sugar? Yeah, no. But let's look into the women that's going to uphold the OG system. Through us, the old gods shall live. And we will win the outcome. See, their outcome is y'all will do y'all little 1-2. And this is very temporary. Very temporary. It's only the 6 of Cups. It's a memory. It's a memory. So y'all will get y'all few little unevolved humans who get stunted in their evolution and then end up thinking that everything you guys produce for them is a gift instead of the slavery and bondage that it is. So the people who look up to the system as if they're doing us big favors, you're the ones. But all this is temporary. You'll wake up one day and realize you've been boozled. But by then, all the people who hold the truth will probably have been died out and have elected to not come back here and help y'all. Because y'all called us names. Y'all called us old and blamed. Nobody upheld the system by voting either way. So no, we ain't coming back. We gonna say fuck you. And whatever circumstances y'all chose, just like y'all said, it's our fault because of Trump. When we come out of here and we don't have to come back anymore because we've evolved and earned our stripes for surviving the last days and not succumbing to the convenient ass beast and choosing to live a little harder, a little longer, just for a little longer. No, we gonna hear y'all after we die out and we, crip walking in the other realms that don't stink like earth, that ain't ghetto like earth. We gonna hear y'all down there weeping and moaning and gnashing of teeth. But you know what that's gonna be to us? Hell. We gonna look down at y'all still going through global warming, climate change, and we gonna be like, oh, that's the fiery pits they was talking about. And there will be nobody in sight like this channel anymore that has the real spirit in them to tell you some truth. No, you just gonna get Armand Wiggins. That was shade, but he ain't deserve that, Stray. He ain't deserve that. But he been selling manifestation books and cleanses, and I heard he finna take y'all on a retreat. Douse y'all down with baby oil and then gonna meditate at Russell Simmons' house because he said he was gonna do it in Bali. Why all the faux spiritual people go to Bali? Child, that's all the people y'all gonna have. I don't need no cars to save me. Fool, these cars is for you, not me. Listen, I'm a part of this tribe here. This me, and then that's me. Victory and success. And then this is actually a Cancer card, the moon, which means we're going to be up out of here. We're going to go through the portal of the moon, and we're going to choose to not come back and leave y'all here. And if you just got blocked being a troll, consider this your early rejection. You better hope the good Lord directs somebody else in your path that can put you on the right path. Because these days, you get one shot, and this might have been your one shot, and you done fucked it up for yourself. Now it's you. Victory and success. The meek shall inherit the earth, overcoming death, victory, all of that. Yeah, we'll leave our bodies, but we ain't gonna die because we ain't coming back here. That means we will have what? Overcome death, because only the earth realm people die. Not no other realm people die. Only the earth realm people continue to decay like this, and then go to sleep, and then wake up back here in a state of decay until we figure the fuck how to not do this shit again. Except for that troll, they won't find out in this lifetime, so they gonna have to come back and try to get it again. And good luck. Good riddance. We got it. We got it figured out. We have it figured out. The divine feminine. We ain't on this shit. I may be saying I'm not having babies because it's the irresponsible thing to do right now, but that ain't saying that I'm at war with my nature as a woman. It means don't none of these men qualify to plant a seed in my garden. I've been tending my garden, taking good care of my garden. Anybody that comes in, any gardener has to be qualified to take care of my garden because my garden is special. And so will my crops. So my gardener has to be loyal, dependable, able-bodied, capable. He has to have a green thumb and a knack for growing things and nurturing things and protecting things. Not just the crop, but the garden. Because y'all men act like y'all love the kids and y'all love the sex, but y'all act like y'all hate the vessel, like y'all hate the woman. That's a safe way to close down shop. But this liberal safe, my body, my choice, when you've been making wrong choices. And then somebody who has an agenda against you comes in like a savior saying, let me help you from the people who took your choices away. Ain't nobody takes shit away from you. Now I'm going to look at the devil, and then I'm going to end this and go to my members live. This is the agenda against you behind making you think you didn't have a choice to begin with, and all the piss poor ass decisions that we've made collectively as women, myself included. But God damn it, when I know better, I absolutely do better. And I practice discipline. I absolutely do. Because karma for me comes quick so that I can get up here on my high horse. Because karma for me comes quick. So I have to learn lessons so that I can teach y'all about them without y'all being able to say I'm judging. Bitch, no. I'm a survivor of my piss poor decisions and the consequences that never fail to hit me with a two-piece as soon as I'm done. Soon as I'm done doing it, before I can finish taking my finger off of the poor decision, the karma shifted my wig, knocked it clean off into the Netherlands. And now I just got to deal. So when I get up in here, because this is my job, don't think I be judging when I say you bitches and say I don't do the stuff that y'all do. It's because I used to, and I don't. And I'm older than a lot of you. I'll be 38 in less than 60 days. And you see how I age with time. So y'all know what lineage I come from. I don't know about all y'all. Some of y'all, I seen you, and we cousins. So y'all know, if I age and look like this, skin glistening and glowing, body sitting up tight and right, waking up earlier to hit the gym than I did 10 years ago, then we know who my forefathers and mothers are. Nevertheless, let me look into the agenda. Because, child, I ain't trying to throw all this shade, but some shit got to be said, and this message had to be delivered with your edges not intact. I like to leave edges intact, but Spirit said, rip them off. Rip them. Lift every baby hair they done glued down to their scalp. Lift them. Lift every baby hair curtain that they have gelled and bonded down to their forehead so that they can think clearly. They said, lift them. And I said, no, Spirit, they gonna hate me. He said, lift it. Lift it. And while you're at it, snatch the lashes off too, because they act like they can't see straight through them things. Snatch them bald, Dina. This one's for the ladies, because they be thinking they innocent and they be thinking they right all the time. Snatch them. Snatch the baby hairs and the lashes so you can think clear and see straight. God damn it, the Spirit said to do it. They actually been telling me to do it for a few weeks, and I've been tiptoeing around it and almost falling into it, but snatching myself out because I ain't want no smoke with y'all, even though I will go there. Because y'all like to fight. Y'all like to tussle, and I don't, but I will. Yo, fresh, you can keep yours, JD, because I've been slowly. I had to snatch y'all edges. Y'all came completely bare. Y'all said this is where the truth is. And so I want to come as I am. Y'all came naked and bare. And that's why God said, these are my people. You took your own wigs and lashes off and said, I want to see and think for, I don't need you to snatch mine. I want this. Here. Here. And God said, my ninjas. My ninjas. I ain't snatched you, JD. Y'all been letting me ease it in real slow, real show. Y'all let me put the tip in, and y'all liked it. So but it's big. I got big D energy around here. It's big Dina, not the little one. So I've been easing it in inch by inch, and y'all been liking it. That's why y'all still here. Y'all first found y'all way here, and y'all was like, "Ooh." That's what y'all did the first time each of y'all first came across my. That was me sticking the tip in. Y'all was like, "Ooh," and y'all stayed. Then start subscribing and becoming members and stuff. Then becoming clients. Oh, I was like, they want that deep stroke. They want that deep stroke. But they don't know how deep I really go. They don't know that I'm going straight to their dome. I might go in from below, but I'm going all the way deep till I reach your mind, bitch. I don't want to put it in your chest. I want to put it in your mind from below. So I've been having to inch by inch because y'all don't know. Y'all think the inch is finna come to an end, but the inch has only just started. I'm knocking sense into you from below. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Show is giving you that good. Yes, sir. Look at me. Giving it to you real piece by piece, like a little page. A messenger. One message at a time. But that thing's strong, ain't it? Yes, look at me admiring. Look at me looking at it. I'm so proud of my big D energy. I'm so proud of the way I just give y'all a couple inches. Just a couple inches. And then I give y'all this much. But y'all don't know. We only here. Look at all this stick left. Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know. It's more left. It's way more left. And this is the busted baby. See, this is my big ego. This is the busted babies just looking at it like, look at it. Stroking it and stuff. Look at you. Look at it. Look at JD talking about, I love your big ego. Look at this JD right here. Loving my big ego. Because you think you only got 8. But you ain't know it was 18. Yes, God. Yes, God. I'm killing Q in here. Q about the only male. No, I won't say the only male because Will is. Will, Q. I ain't seen Kevin in a long time. I ain't seen RB since he was joking about having somebody in his basement. I'm killing Q in here. But yeah, I'm getting you too, Q. Listen, any way you want it, you getting it too. Because you can relate, ain't it? Yeah. Q say he hollering because he can relate. He a man, so he know what I'm talking about. He know I'm talking about that surprise when the girl be like, "Oh, it's big," and you be like, "Yeah, it's big, but it's bigger." But you just been letting her admire the little 6 inches because you don't want to scare her off and tell her it's 16. But I'm gonna say that for later. Yes, that's how I gotta do y'all. But y'all loving it, just like McDonald's. Y'all loving it. Big Mac, yes. I know that's right. The devil. This is what they really. This is what Bill Gates really want to do to y'all. And I say y'all because not me. I don't know about y'all, but not me. Again, cut you off from your Genesis 26 commandments. Your blessing. It wasn't even a commandment. It was a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to slide up in a woman's warm, wet womb entrance in the hallway to her womb. Ain't that heaven? Ain't that the streets paved in gold? The streets leading to her womb, the vaginal walls, the halls of a mentee. Yes, they talking about that good, good. The halls of a mentee, the halls of the underworld where the souls have to pass through. Yes, we talking about them vagina walls. Yes. The path that leads into the womb. Don't look back. No, stay in there, daddy. Stay in there. Because if you stay in there, we can create new life like God's. Inside this vagina is the key to creation. Baby. Baby. That's why it's paved in gold. And by gold, I mean a nectar, an elixir. We call it the elixir of the gods. That wet, wet. That whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Yes, I did the sound effect. Yes, I did it. Yes. And y'all been giving up y'all streets of gold to just any old demon and devil. They said the fallen angels was supposed to stay on earth, and y'all been giving them entryway into the pathways of the holy of holies, into the heavenly of heavenlies. They want to come in between the mac and cheese. They don't want it to be baked. They want it to be boxed and mixed on the stove with dried lab cheese and lab butter. Come on now. The plan, the evil plan, is the same card that I showed you the first time to come in between the one thing God told us to do. That's be fruitful and multiply with each other, human being and human being, and then rule the earth. They want us to do everything but that, including procreate with they dying ass. Because not all white people are them. But shit, can you tell unless you check your partner's blood type and watch my series on blood types so you'll know which blood types to. You don't know. So sometimes you might, they might white king you, ladies, because that's what they've been doing these days. They've been white kinging and soft lifing the shit out of y'all. They've been divesting the shit out of y'all. Them white men been growing beards and getting buns, man buns and beards, and coming with a good credit and privilege. And y'all just been, y'all knees been buckling. I thought y'all had good knees. Y'all knees been buckling. Y'all been trading your yaki in for hard wigs and soft lives. Taking Connor to the cookouts. Taking Connor to the cookouts, having him cut out your weave, and you just sitting between his legs, and he picking out your weave like the apes do. I don't know what you swiped into, but welcome, Mario. I'm telling you, anything that's God natured, they don't want it, and they need you to help them out. They need you to let them borrow that streets of gold. Let them borrow that warm wet. They might get in it and whoosh it. Help. They might drown. They might not be able to. Like our counterpart usually knows how to. They may need help. They may need help and assistance, but they still trying to get in there because God said all life came from out the water. The warm, wet waters, the tropical waters, the equatorial waters, the Caribbean, the African, the warm, wet waters where the sun rises and sets. Come on now, it's warm and wet and brown and pink in there. Brown and pink, brown and pink. Come on. I came prepared to deliver the message of the warm, wet portal, the warm, wet streets of gold. Brown and pink, brown and pink. Come on now. Don't I look like a god? Brown and pink, brown and pink. Come on now. Come on now. Don't pass that plate around and lock the doors. Somebody pass the offering plate around and lock the doors. Stick them up. We need the ushers to grab the gats and stick everybody up before they try to escape. Send that money. Heavy on the lock the doors. And the usher board will do it gladly. That's the plan. They don't want you and your kind. Oh, Q, I was just playing, but thank you. See, I told y'all women Q is a good man. I tell y'all every live that Q is a good man, Savannah. I tell y'all every live, and then I told y'all why. And look, I was just kidding. But a real man knows that when a goddess says, send the check, a real man sends the check, even if she playing. Yes, God, Q. 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 He said he had to start the usher plate. Come on, that's a real man. That's the real. Listen, I see why you got an old lady now. That's the man that deserves to walk in the halls of a mentee. It's a man who deserves, who don't need to be told, who knows how to protect and support the divine feminine instead of trying to beef with her. He ain't trying to ask me to pay for his date. He said, say less. I'll send the plate around and I'll lock the doors. Y'all missing out, Q. Listen, you better tell me if that girl slip up so I can auction you off. Because there's some baddies in here. But you always talk about gratitude. You always be like, gratitude, goddess, stuff like that. Anytime you participate in a ceremony and you send your coin, you be like, gratitude, goddess, for everything that you do. Now, I'm giving his tea because that's what he be doing when he be communicating with me personally, because Q is my client and has been for a while. He has been supporting me and the channel for a while. And anytime I offer a ceremony, except for lately, I've been worried about him, but he good. He'll send that check along with a gratitude, goddess. Thank you for everything you do. I say, yes, God. And by God, I mean you. I appreciate you too, because you're a real man. Do I want a trip to the Russia? Fuck no. So I can end up on a stick? So I can end up on a table of Russian roulette? Do you see my skin? First of all, it's cold. Second of all, do you see my skin? It ain't too many people that look like this, so I don't want to be there. It's hard enough being here in America, where it's a lot of us that look like this, amongst others. No, I don't want to go to Russia. And considering who I am and what I do, I'll be assassinated before I get into it, before I leave the airport. I'll be assassinated. The fuck she came here for? To fuck some shit up? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Do I want to go to Russia? Nope. Sure don't. Again, I'm going to wrap up Bill Gates and go ahead and talk to my members. I've given you enough. I just want you guys to know that the agenda will be televised and the agenda will be birthed, just like everything else, through women. And by agenda, I mean population control. That's why he's in Africa, where they actually love having families, value having families, trying to impose infertility onto them, like they done with us. All this birth control and shit. I have PCOS. It'd be difficult for me if I wanted to give birth. And I blame that. I'm sorry, I just dropped the Queen of Wands. I blame that on the birth control that my mother slapped me on when I was 14. Actually, I was 13. I wasn't even having sex yet. But once I start getting breasts and a period, because you know, black mamas, they be so ready to call their daughters fast before we even be thinking about it. And they speak that spirit right on us. Because we don't even be thinking about it. But the minute we start to develop, then our mothers start thinking that we fast now or finna be fast. And we still be developing and playing outside. And I wasn't even thinking about having sex. But then I had to go get on birth control. And now I'm thinking about it. And you having conversations with me, threatening me about being fast. I was actually scared of dick. I'm scared of sex still Not now, but when she had this conversation, I was scared of the idea of sex. Now, at 14, I lost my virginity because at 13, she introduced me to the idea of having sex. Something that I was not thinking about like that. I wasn't curious about it. I knew it exists. I had sex ed. I had to take a baby home. I absolutely did not want to be a mama. No time soon. But she was the first one to call me fast before I was having sex. And she didn't say you fast. But that conversation about, oh, now you getting titties and you done started your period, you bet not be da 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 da. And if you end up fast and pregnant, and I'm sitting there just in the passenger seat, like, the fuck is she talking about? I don't want no boy touching me like that. I'm scared. I've been molested. She think I'm being fast, and my own relative was having their way with me. Her sister child. But you worry about me. So put me on birth control. And it was a new birth control at the time. The pill. The pill was new when I got on birth control. The pill was new. The infamous pill. It was new. It was experimental at the time because it was new. I know a lot of millennial girls who can't get pregnant. I have more classmates and peers that I know have had fertility issues than any that I know of in my family's previous generations. And all of us were on the pill. All of our parents put us on the pill. And it was new. I remember my OBGYN saying, I remember them telling my mama, because she was asking what were her options for me as far as birth control. And the doctor was very glad. Oh, we have this new pill. Da 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 da. I still attribute that to my PCOS and things like that, but women, it starts with us and ends with us. So if you guys are looking for any way to skirt accountability as a woman, because men are supposedly more powerful, you are in for a rude awakening, and you will continue to have challenges, troubles, failures, and you will continue to give reasons why the world is evolving slower, to be honest. It starts with us. And I say we are the reason, and I said that very harshly because if we say no, the men won't go. If we say no, men won't go. So, and then we end up, baby mamas and single mothers, frustrated, angry, bitter, raising your child per your trauma. Whatever trauma you went through, that is how you're going to raise your child. You're going to do everything opposite of that trauma. But remember how I speak about extremes and how you can end up in one extreme trying to avoid another one. The only option is to heal because that brings balance and moderation. Why your nose so big? Leave us some oxygen. Now, why would I leave oxygen for you and allow you and your lineage to continue to live a lot longer than it's been allotted for your time and your kind? If God is heating up the earth so that you, dear troll, can die out faster, then my job is to help God expedite the process. And if doing that means I have to use my grande nariz to inhale more oxygen so that you have less with your pinched nariz, then I will continue to take deep breaths with my Michael Jackson 5 nostrils and pray that with every breath I inhale, it is one that you have to savor. Amen. Amen. How can you make me hate a nose that is made to intake more oxygen than probably yours that looks like this? Even your biology shows that nature doesn't want you here. Your nose doesn't even want to open up so that it can breathe. Your skin, and I'm speaking to this one troll, your skin, if you stay out in the sun too long, will peel. It will burn and peel. You will then be prone to skin cancers, which you naturally are, dear troll. Only the troll. I'm speaking to him in his bloodline. At the ripe old age of 76, you will look like I might if I live to see 300, and I won't. So I'll never know what it is to look as old as you until the day that I die. And that is because my grande nostrils can take in so much more oxygen that my skin cells, all the cells in my body have a lot more energy just because I can take in more oxygen with my Jackson 5 nostrils. Now, why would I be ashamed of my nose when it helps me to live longer than you? God bless you all, trolls, not trolls. To my members, I'll see you in the live in a few seconds to do our Reclaiming the Prophecy series. The real gems are dropped continuously and without inhibition in my members' lives. I'll stick the head in with y'all a little bit because y'all troll me over here. And when you're really serious, then you put something in the plate, like become a member. Or do like you did and just put something in the plate. I'm just kidding. I don't do this for your money. But when the word be hitting, so do the tithes. Of course, JD. Don't thank me. Thank the good Lord that I have the nostrils to breathe in enough oxygen to talk to you guys for 113 minutes. Drop jewels that I pull out of my loins. And the church says, Deacon Q done closed the service, so we got to go now because Deacon Q said get out. See you members in the live.